Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a rocket in Minecraft step by step, block by block, for all of your city building needs. In order, this tutorial includes this rather large platform that the rocket sits upon, the rocket itself, including the interior, and this massive set of scaffolding that connects the two together. Fun fact, I was hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. If you spotted me, leave a comment down below. The first person to get it right will have their comment pinned. And of course, this does not count as finding me, guys. Also, did you spot the secret sign? If you did, what did it say? This is the amount of space required to make the rocket and the platform that it stands on. If you choose to copy this grid into your world, to find the starting position, begin at the front left hand corner of the grid and then count inwards diagonally towards the center and find the third block. That is where we start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. First, let's make the platform. Begin the build by placing 2 grey concrete in a row on the ground. 1, 2. Then extend the grey concrete 1 row backwards. Then place an additional row of 4 grey concrete on top of each one of these blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place polished tuff stairs all the way around the base of the grey concrete, making sure that it doesn't connect in the corners. An optional extra is to replace this inward row of grey concrete with polished tuff wall, and you may or may not like that effect. Now that we have done that, we now want to count to the right of this leg of the platform and find the 20th block. So right of this tuff stair, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And in this position, we will place a polished tuff wall. And then one to the left of it or behind it, depending upon your perspective. And then we will place a 2 by 2 row of grey concrete to the right of this. We will extend all of the blocks up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and these ones too. Then we will place polished tuff stair all the way around the base. And then optionally, you may choose to replace this row with the polished tuff wall. So now we have the 2 front legs. Next, we can make the back legs. So, counting backwards from these stair, we want to count and find the 12th block. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And in this position, we will place a polished tuff stair, 1 to the right, a 2 by 2 square of grey concrete behind, and then polished tuff stair surrounding the grey concrete. We can then extend the grey concrete up by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to exchange this row here with the polished tuff wall. Next, we just have to make the other leg. It's actually easiest if we come over to this side. And all we have to do is count backwards from this stair, and once again find the 12th block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then here we can place our 2 stair. We can see that it lines up with the opposite side, so we can do things a little bit faster. And then we can proceed to place our 2 by 2 square of grey concrete, surround it with the stairs, add a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 grey concrete on top of the center, and then we can just exchange this row here with polished tough wool. Just like this. So now that we have done this, all we have to do is add a layer of grey concrete that extends all the way around the outside of the legs that we have made, and this will connect them together in a rectangular shape, and this will make the base of our platform. So we want to end up with something that should look like this. We can now fill this in with grey concrete. Now that we have filled in the base of our platform, we will come all the way back to the front left hand corner of it, and in front of this grey concrete block we will place a cyan terracotta, and to the right of that a light grey concrete, and then a cyan terracotta, followed by a light grey concrete, cyan terracotta, light grey concrete, and I think that you guys get the point. We will alternate between these two blocks, extending all the way over to the right side of the build. And once we get to the right side, we will place an additional light grey concrete to overhang the platform. Then we will extend all the way to the very back of the build, overhang the platform again, and then we will start extending that way using our alternating cyan and light grey terracottas. And I'm actually going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to place all of the light grey first, just like this, and then I'm going to place the cyan terracotta after, just because it's just easier than just swapping between the two materials. It actually drives me crazy. So now that we have extended all the way across the back of the platform, we can then add an overhanging row of light grey concrete again, and then we can just extend all the way to the front of the build, and we can connect back to where we first started. Next, we are going to extend each one of the 4 corners of the platform up by 5 rows using light grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what you can do is extend the 5th block front to back or back to front, and you can extend it down like this. And we can do the same on the opposite side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we can just extend all the way to the front. And then down. Just like so. Next, we are going to also extend the cyan and the light grey concrete blocks up to equal the height of the rows of light grey concrete that we've just placed. However, I would recommend picking either the cyan or the light grey and extending them all up first and then doing the opposite block, as you guys might be able to tell, it drives me a little bit crazy sometimes just swapping between 2 materials. Feels a bit monotonous, but that will give us this, and then we can just fill the light grey concrete in between. And now that we've done that to the front, we can head to the back of the build and do the same. So let's extend the light grey concrete up since I've got it out already. And then the gaps in between with cyan terracotta. Perfect. So now that we have filled the front and the back in, we are actually going to fill the very top of our platform in using grey concrete. Now that we have filled in the top of our platform, we want to add stone brick wall extending all the way around the edge of it. However, the way that we do this is we place a stone brick wall in one of the corners, we then leave a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we place another, and then 1, 2, 3, place another, 1, 2, 3, place another, so on and so forth, just extending all the way around the edge of the platform. And it should work out so that these are just spaced evenly apart all the way along the outer edge of the platform, so they should fit perfectly. I'm trying to line up with the opposite side of the platform instead of counting. I think that I've managed to do that. So now that we have placed all of the wall, we are then going to place iron bars in between them. Safety is paramount, ladies and gentlemen. We wouldn't want to fall off of the platform. We have important space missions to do. Well, I can see that I failed a little bit with the wall, but that was the only one, so that's fine, and we have just fixed it nicely. So now that we have placed all of the wall and the iron bars, on the left and right side of the platform, you may notice that we have this giant hole here, but the way that we fill this in is by simply placing cyan terracotta one row inwards, so just behind the light grey concrete like this. And then we want to add rows of stone brick wall to the side of the cyan terracotta in the same place that the wall is above, just like this. Then we are going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So we will place cyan terracotta 1 row backwards from the light grey concrete. Then we will place the rows of stone brick wall extending down. Now that we have filled the sides of our platform in, we are going to build a simplified version of the American flag on the front of the platform. To position it, we will come to this stone brick wall right here. We're on the front of the platform. Right side, we find the first, second, third stone brick wall, and underneath it, we add 1, 2 blue concrete. Extend the blue concrete to the left like this. Then place a row of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 red concrete extending right of this blue concrete. Underneath that, add a row of white concrete. Underneath the whole thing, add a row of red concrete. And then underneath that, add a row of white concrete. And that will give us this. Then we are going to add a, I don't even know what this is, to the front left hand corner of the platform. In this corner, we'll extend inwards diagonally by 1. Place 2 grey concrete extending up from the platform with an anvil on top. Then we will find the centre of the platform. So the centre is right here. And the way that you can find this is just by counting the walls. Basically, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 walls on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 walls on the right, and then we have the iron bars in between, and we find the middle of those. And behind that, we place an andesite wall, we extend up by 1, and then we place a skeleton skull on top of that. And once again, I don't know what that's meant to be, but it's on the platform, so... This is the base of the platform, pretty much complete. Which means that we can now move on to the part that we have all been waiting for. Let's make the rocket. To begin, we once again want to come all the way to the front middle of the platform. We then want to count backwards from this stone brick wall and this stone brick wall and find the 4th block. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in those positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, we will place hoppers. We will then leave a gap of 3 behind those hoppers, 1, 2, 3, and then we will place another set of hoppers, just like this. On top of each hopper, we will place a grey concrete. Then we will join those grey concretes together in a square using smooth quartz slabs. We will then fill the middle of this in with smooth quartz slabs, just like this. Then we will add a layer of smooth quartz slab along the sides of our square shape, forming kind of a circle. Sort of. It almost looks like a cookie actually, but now that we have done this, we are going to place a row of 5 white concrete on top of this smooth quartz slab right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will then place a yellow terracotta. And then 13 orange terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then a yellow terracotta, 4 orange terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a yellow terracotta, 4 more orange, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a yellow terracotta. We will then place 2 more orange, 1, 2. And then a yellow. 4 more orange terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4. We then will extend each one of those blocks that we have just placed all the way around the edge of our platform. So however you want to do this, it doesn't really matter, as long as we have the exact same thing all the way around. I think that the method that I'm going to choose is just kind of like extending back and forth just around the rocket like this, adding the individual rows in big blocks of colour. But another valid option would be to build this vertically, just as we have, so kind of just doing this if you wanted to as well. So, however you would prefer to do it, that's completely up to you, but once again, my method is this. Now, eventually, once you have done that, you should end up with this. Continuing on, all the way back up at the very top of the rocket, we want to place a row of orange terracotta that sits above and inside of the empty space that we have at the top of the rocket, just like this. We then will add a row of orange terracotta on top of the row that we've just placed, so there is 2 rows high. We then will place rows of 3 block of quartz, 1, 2, 3, on each one of the 4 sides, so the rows sit directly in the middle of the orange terracotta, just like this, and we are using actual block of quartz, not smooth block of quartz, regular block of quartz. This is important because we are now going to stack a row of smooth quartz on top, followed by a row of regular block of quartz, followed by 2 more rows of smooth, 1, and this will be 2 rows, Then we will place quartz stairs on top of the smooth quartz. Next, we can place a layer of white concrete above and inside of the empty space at the top of our rocket. And you know what? Why don't we just fill that whole thing in? There we go. It's just one block. And then on top of that, we will place a layer of smooth quartz block. And then on top of that, we will place a layer of quartz stairs extending all the way around the edge, just like this. In the middle, we will place a smooth quartz block, which we will extend up by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 diorite wall. 1, 2. And then finally a white candle right at the very top. And that will give us, this is rather impressive actually, that will give us this. Now, before we move on to the rest of the structure of the rocket, let's add some details to this center part. To begin, we will place stone buttons all the way around the middle of this smooth quartz block at the top of the rocket. We will then add a mangrove sign here in this position. Moving down, we will replace this smooth quartz block with a blue concrete, and underneath this, a warped sign. Then, we will place polished black stone wall. Let's try that again. We will then place a polished black stone button here in this position. We will then drop a little further down the rocket, and we will replace this block and this block with tinted glass, just like so. And we will do the same to those same blocks, extending all the way around the outside of our rocket, just like so. Then we will drop a little bit further down the rocket to this position, where we will place a bamboo sign, a birch sign to the right of it, and then a bamboo sign to the right of that. Then we will drop down to the next section, where we will place a pale oak sign in this position, acacia buttons here and here. We will then place a smooth quartz stair here, and then we will place red sandstone wall extending all the way down from the smooth quartz stair until we reach this point. Then we will remove these 2 white concrete blocks left and right, and we will place observers. I do believe that we have to place them backwards. Let's see. There we go. That's perfect. And just to show you, because maybe it was a little bit confusing, some of that, like after we move down from the top part, that is where all of that is meant to be positioned. So let me get you a good clear view of that, just so that you can make sure that everything is indeed in the right position on your rocket. I'm also checking mine too. Now that we have made the central part of our rocket, let's focus on the sides, starting with the left. Come all the way down to the base of the rocket, all the way on the left side. Find this smooth quartz slab right here. Leave a gap of 1 between it, and on the ground, next to the slab, place a hopper. Leave a gap of 1 left of the hopper, and then place another. Leave a gap of 1 behind each hopper, and then place another, like this. Then, place smooth quartz stairs around the edge of the hoppers, connecting together like this. We can place a smooth quartz block in the middle, extend up, and then place a row of smooth quartz block around the smooth quartz block to give us this. Next, place a black concrete on top of the front left-hand corner of what we have just made. Then place 2 white concrete. 1, 2. and then a black concrete. Then repeat this series of blocks 5 times. Place 2 white concrete, 1, 2, and then a smooth quartz block. So that would be 1 time. 2 white concrete, smooth quartz, that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we will place 2 more white concrete, 1, 2, followed by a black concrete, then a smooth quartz block, and then that is where we will leave it. So the smooth quartz, as you may notice, lines up with this orange terracotta here just before the yellow terracotta. So this is what we should have. Now that we have done this one row, similarly to the central part of the rocket, we now want to extend each one of those blocks just all the way around. And you know what? I think I'm just going to fill the whole thing in. I'm just going to fill each row of this in with the block that we have placed. I was just going to do like rings of it, but I think that it takes a lot less effort to just do this. You have to be so much less locked in, but if you want to, you can kind of like do the individual rows extending up vertically, as are displayed on the central part of the rocket as well, but I think that this is just a bit easier. So eventually we will end up with that. What we then want to do is place quartz stairs all the way around the outside of the top. We can then place a smooth quartz block in the middle, and then I actually can't decide which looks better. Maybe you guys can help me. Either a single smooth quartz slab like this at the top, or alternatively, the actual rocket itself does look a little bit pointier. That. Now, I rarely am torn on which one looks better, so I will leave that up to you, but that's how I originally built it, but so I'll just leave it like that. But the choice is yours. So now we are going to connect these parts to our central rocket. We will do this by placing a polished tuff wall in this position here, and dropping all the way down in this position here, just like so. So just to show you. We will then place a polished blackstone button here and a pale oak sign here. And if you like, you can do the same to the back as well. So just like this. And of course, now that we have added that to the left side of our rocket, we can go ahead and add it to the right side as well. So once again, come all the way down to the base, and on the right side of the rocket, we locate this smooth quartz slab. Now to the right of this, we leave a gap of 1 and then place a hopper. Leave a gap of 1 to the right again and place another hopper. Leave a gap of 1 behind the hoppers and place another set of hoppers to give us this. We can then place smooth quartz stairs, extending all the way around the top of these to form a ring. Stick a smooth quartz block in the middle, and then extend the smooth quartz block up. Add a row of smooth quartz block on top of the stairs to give us this. Next, we will place a black concrete on top of this smooth quartz. On top of that, 2 white concrete, 1, 2, and then a black concrete. Then we will repeat this sequence of blocks 5 times. We will place 2 white concrete, 1, 2, followed by a smooth quartz block. So that will be 1 time, and then 2 white concrete, smooth quartz, that's 2 times, and then 3, 4, 5, just like that. Then we will place 2 more white concrete, and then a black concrete, and then a smooth quartz block, and then a quartz stair. Then we will take each one of these blocks and extend them around the edge of the platform that we have at the base here, or easier yet, we will just fill the entire thing in with our blocks as we extend up this portion of the rocket. I think that that's a lot easier than just doing this. Then, once we get to the top, we just want to extend the quartz stairs just all the way around, just like so. Stick a smooth quartz block in the middle, and then whatever you decided on the opposite side, whether it be the slab or the... As a matter of fact, this is a perfect time to compare. Which do you prefer? I do think that that looks better, but like I said, that's more accurate, so I am just going to go with it. But this, in my opinion, looks better. I will fully admit that. Then we want to add polished tough wall in these positions, so here, and then just all the way down at the bottom here to connect everything together. Let's just take a look. That is looking great. And then just down here at the base, we will place a pale oak sign here, polished blackstone button here, same on the back as well. And then that will give us, let's take a little look at this thing for a second, guys. That will give us this. Now, whilst that does look rather impressive, we aren't quite done. Next, let's make some banners. Throw down a limb, open it up, place a white banner in there with some black dye, and begin by applying the per pale pattern. Grab that, put that back in with some white dye, and apply the per fess inverted pattern. Grab that, put that back in with some black dye, and apply the per pale inverted pattern. Grab that, put that back in with some white dye, and apply the chief sinister canton pattern. Grab that, put that back in with some black dye, and apply the fess pattern. That is banner number 1 complete. Banner number 2 is another white banner with black dye, and we begin by placing the per pale inverted pattern. Grab that, put that back in with some white dye, and apply the per fess inverted pattern. Grab that, put that back in with some black dye, and apply the per pale pattern. Grab that, put that back in with white dye, and apply the chief Dexter canton pattern. Grab that, put that back in with some black dye, and apply the fess pattern. That is banner number 2. Banner number 3 is also a white banner, which we start off in there with some black dye, and we apply the per pale inverted pattern. Grab that, put that back in, and then apply the chief Dexter canton pattern. Grab that, put that back in, and then apply the base pattern. Grab that, put that back in with some white dye now, and apply the chief sinister canton pattern. Grab that, put that back in, and then apply the base sinister canton pattern. That is banner number 3. The next banner is a white banner with red dye, and it is simply the number 2. This is the chief, base, and bend sinister pattern. Next is another white banner, red dye. We are making the number 5, which is chief, base, and then the bend pattern. Lastly is the number 0, which is a white banner, red dye, pale Dexter, pale sinister, then the pale sinister pattern, chief pattern, and then the base pattern. Now that we have made each one of our banners, we can now apply them to our rocket. Starting with the number banners. Begin by placing 2, 5, 0 here in this position. We want to do the same on the back as well. And the same on the opposite side. And on the front as well. Then we will take this banner and apply it here, here, and here. Just like this. And then this one. Here, here, and here. Then, on the back, we will apply this one here, here, and here. And then this one, here, here, and here. Just like this. Then on the front of the rocket, we just have to take our last banner and place it here. It lines up with the middle of these banners, as you can see. And also, we just have to add one here as well. And I have just noticed that I missed, unless it got knocked off somehow, placing a pale oak sign here in this position. So do feel free to rectify that. And that will give us this, which looks, well, this looks insane. The rocket itself is almost done, but the last little bit of detail that we have to add is actually the interior. So come all the way to the back of the rocket and all the way up to here. Remove these two blocks, head inside, and place light grey concrete for the floor. Then place grey concrete across the back here at the bottom and the top. Then place some paintings here. I would prefer to, I actually quite like that one, but I would prefer that 1x2 there. Mangrove button here. Lever here. Rail here. Polished andesite stair here and here, with light grey banners above and behind. And if you want it light in here, because we are going to have a door, you may want to place some form of light in here. So maybe even just like, actually we can only have one. We can have a sea lantern right here. It seems to kind of fit the bill. And then I've just got to repair what I just broke. Then on the right side here, we will place a polished blackstone button. Item frame here with a red candle inside of it. Stone pressure plate here. And then we can just stick an iron door here. And that might seem a little bit random, but now that we have completed our platform and our rocket for the final part of this tutorial, all we have to make is the scaffolding. I'm not even sure if that's what it's called, but I just don't know what else to call it. On the back of the platform is a giant set of scaffolding that connects to our rocket. And it is also how we will get up to the platform itself and the rocket. To make this, we will come all the way to this position, and we will remove these two middle stone brick wall and the iron bars in between them. Just like this. Then, in this position, we will place a row of 48 stone bricks extending up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. Just like this. So now, we are going to do the exact same thing right here as well. However, I'm not going to count it this time. I'm going to hope, against hope, that we got it right the first time. And once we reach the same height, we're just going to extend over to the left and connect together. Just like this. Now that we have our two long rows of 48, what we can then do is take the stone brick wall that we have on the left and right side of these rows, and we can extend these wall all the way up to the top. So all the way up to here, and we can just line up. And we can join together with a row of stone bricks, just like this. And then the exact same thing on the opposite side as well. So we will extend this wall all the way up. And we will line up with the top, where we will just extend a row of stone bricks out just like this. Then we are going to subdivide this area up by starting all the way down at the bottom. We want to count and find the 4th stone brick wall, so extending up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then place a stone brick just like this. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, stone brick wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys get the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually have to count. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it properly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and then perfect. So, eventually, we will reach the top, and you will notice how that is perfectly divided into the wall/stone brick sections. And what we can do is we can extend the stone brick all the way through to the opposite side of the platform, just like this. It would be a lot easier if we also divided the right side of the platform up as well, so that we could just kind of like oscillate between the left and right sides. But I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to. Right, so eventually we will end up with this. The next thing that we can do is move on to this side, and we can place a row of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stone bricks extending from each one of these stone brick walls. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like so. And then we can drop all the way back down. We can stick a stone brick wall on the end here, which we will join back down to our platform, and then all the way up. So this will just connect, eventually, all the way back up to the stone brick, there we go, that we have all the way up at the top here. Then, we are going to extend stone bricks from here, all the way across to the right, and a row here, all the way from the back to form a corner where we will stick a stone brick wall. We will then join said wall down, and then we will extend the wall all the way up. And it's actually not going to connect to anything, is it? But that's okay. We just have to line up. There we go. So we just have to line up to the top here, where we can extend this stone brick forwards, replace that, extend this across, and that will give us this. And that is absolutely perfect. So, what I'm now going to do is just place the same rows of stone bricks just on the right side here, extending from back to front. And there we go. That is looking fantastic. So now that we've done that, we are also just going to seal up the front as well. So we'll just join these all together. And the next part of this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be for us to fill in the actual, every single level of the platform itself. And I am contemplating what to fill it in with. Originally, we did just use stone bricks, but I'm wondering whether some cyan terracotta might look a little bit better, or whether it even matters at all, because it really is like it's not that big of a deal. I think that we might just keep it to stone bricks, to be honest. We might just keep it all to mostly one material. So now that we have the outer cage of the scaffolding complete, as I said, now we've just got to fill every single level of this in with stone bricks, which is going to be fun. Let's put it that way. So we're literally just going to move up. We'll add a floor to everywhere that we have the stone bricks. We will add a floor. Yay! This is not quite as exciting as building a giant rocket. But it really does improve the build, that's the thing. Unfortunately, the rocket actually doesn't look as cool without this part. You know, that actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. Let's take a little look at this thing now that we've just about filled the top in. Let's see, because oh wow. Look at that. Next, we are going to head all the way back up to the very top of our scaffolding, where we will further extend this row and this row up by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can just connect them together at the top. We then want to extend these two corners backwards by 3, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We will join together, and then we will take those third blocks and drop them all the way down to the ground, which is actually a lot further away than I imagined. I thought we'd be there by now. There we go, and then I'm just going to build this one up from the floor. All we need to know is that it is a gap of 3 away, and then we can just do that. Perfect. So now that we have done this, we are going to add a row, and I would prefer to do this from the bottom. I prefer to build up rather than down. I want to add a row of stone brick here in this position. So basically it's like right in the middle of this section that we've made, and the stone bricks extend all the way from the ground all the way up, and they travel up through the entire tower, and we only have to place them so that they come up to here, and then we will place ladders onto these. So this is how we will actually get up and down the rocket and just the entire scaffolding, really. So just like this. And then we are just going to place stone bricks here and here on the opposite side, just so that it kind of like continues through, just like so. And what we also have to do too is where we have these connection points for the floors, we want the same rows of stone brick to extend through to this like ladder section here. So I'm just going to place it all on one side first, like so, and then just across the back. We're going to have to fill it in as well. It might have been easier to do that first, but it's okay, it doesn't really matter. And then at this point, so like there would be one here as well. So like around here, I think. And then we're not going to add any more. I think that we'll just have it up to there, I think. Or shall we add another? So it'd be like 1, 2, 3. There'd be a gap of 3, and it'd be about here. Or maybe we could just add it here to the base. And then that makes a bit more sense, doesn't it? I think it looks a little bit better that way as well. I have contemplated, I mean, feel free to add it, I don't know whether it will look better or not, building it into the platform. I think it might look a little bit better that way, but I mean, it does. I mean, that definitely looks better, doesn't it? So, oh, and we also have to add the stone bricks to this side too. And I promise, by the way, that we're almost done. We have almost finished. Right, so we're all up at the top of the platform again. I'm just going to drop all the way down because once again I find it easier to build up. And wherever we have a floor, we are just going to add some stone bricks like this. So like wherever, so like every single floor, we're just adding stone bricks so that we are actually able to summit onto the floor. So we're just going to extend all the way up. Add in, whoops, add in a bunch of stone bricks. Here we go. And then, this is the last thing, guys. We have to add iron bars to this. So I'm contemplating whether to add iron bars to here. It probably makes more sense, doesn't it? So I think that we will add them around here. I think it also does make sense to do it like floor by floor as well. So like we place them all the way around these parts of the platform. So literally like it does just kind of like orbit the whole thing, and it does connect like everything together just like this. So it will look like this. And yeah, we do just have to add it to every single floor, except I didn't add it to the top one, which is curious really, because that is, you know, arguably the most dangerous floor. It's the highest, but I didn't do that, but we are going to do it in the tutorial. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the entire scaffold. You know what, guys? I lied. There is one thing left to do. We have to connect the scaffolding to the rocket. So we will place a row of stone bricks extending from underneath the door on the back of our rocket, with smooth stone slabs on the left and right sides of these stone bricks. Remove this iron bar here, and then place iron bars extending all the way to the door. Stick a stone pressure plate here, and now we can get in and out of the rocket, and this looks pretty cool. And with that final detail added, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our rocket into our city. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't exactly thought too far ahead on this one. You know what? Funnily enough, this actually isn't the first rocket in Mini City. I completely forgot about this. I think that ultimately the rocket has to go over here in this area somewhere, just roughly over here. You know, keep the two rockets together. We don't want them to get lonely. And I think I would also like to bring the army base and maybe even the prison back over here in this area too. And ultimately, I think that it would be cool to add kind of like a desert area to the city as well, where it would make more sense to have builds like this. You know, not part of the main city, and a different biome would be cool as well. What do you guys think? You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.